routing between VLANs without an external router using just layer 3 switches. That's the next part of our learning process about this theme. And let's get where we were at. So this is basically the where we were at. We changed nothing. It's exactly where we left off. So I'm going to ping from PC1 to PC6. And if PC1 pings PC6, I mean, proves the point. Let's get the data here. La 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 la. There you go. So PC6 has this IP address 3336. So ping 10336. So yeah. So everything still works. So this guy pings this guy, and that is being routed by this guy. So everything is working fine as it was. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to completely disconnect. I'm going to shut down this guy. I'm going to shut down the interface. So it's going to be completely out of the equation. Okay. I mean, I can even stop the guy. Let's stop this guy. I mean, it's out of the equation, right? So this now should stop working because the router, the 10.2.2.254, it's just out. Okay. So this guy disappeared. There are no gateways for the PCs. If you're watching this in the short form, come and watch me on the long form and you'll see the solution there. I'll meet you there. For the long form peeps, let's continue. So yeah, the gateway is out. So I need to choose a layer 3 switch to become now the gateway. And this guy can be the solution. This guy can be also the solution. Okay, either one can work. I mean, sort this out. They are both layer 3 switches. They both can do the trick. There is no need to add a third switch because either one can do this. Well, you can add a third switch, and in future labs and exercises, we will create redundancy and all of that. But for now, let's keep this guy. As our main solution. So switch 1 is going to be our for now our gateways, our router. So let's console into it. All right. And oops, not what I wanted, but oh well. And now he's just a layer 2 switch. He's doing nothing layer 3 related. So how it's done? Well, you can say it's easier than with using external router, which it is. So you want to route from VLAN 2 to VLAN 3. Okay, so you want to route from VLAN 2 and vice versa, of course. So you go to the kind of the main configuration mode. You do interface, VLAN, and the number. And this is a layer 3 interface. Done. You give it the IP address 10.2.2.254.255.255.255.0 IP address, and let's do the same for VLAN 3. IP address 10.3.3.2.5.10.3.3.2.5.4. I don't think I make any mistakes in terms of the addressing. You just do show run, just to make sure that everything is looking okay. And I think it is. So this is the interface to the, see the importance of giving descriptions. Now I know this is the interface to the router. I know this is the interface to switch 2. Okay, and I could put here, since I'm here already, let me do that. So this interface goes to PC1. Let's make things by the book. Let's make it, put a description, interface to PC1, which is the 00, right? And 02 is interface to PC3, I'm sorry. And 01 is for PC2. And 03 is to PC4. Let's save it. Cool. And now everything is going to look much cleaner and getting organized. So since the network is growing and growing and growing, and this video series is going to grow and grow and grow, it's nice to start to clean things up. I will need to do the same on switch 2, but I'll be there. I will do that. If I don't forget, I'll do that in the end of the video, or towards the end of the video. So descriptions are there. And the trunk is there, VLAN 1, VLAN 2, VLAN 3. Okay, let's just do the no shutdown. Since these are layer 3 interfaces, they are by default shut down like a normal router. No shutdown. Okay. Now, one important thing it's that if you create the interface VLAN 2, okay, like we did here, when you create the interface VLAN 2 here, make sure that VLAN 2 also exists. So if you create the interface VLAN 2, you do the no shutdown, but the interface still is down. Make sure that on a VLAN database the switch has VLAN 2. So which ours does, either being by manual in configuration, by VTP, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it has VLAN 2, so the interface VLAN 2 will come up. Interface brief. All right, so it's up. If you see that this stays kind of down or up down or anything of that sort, make sure that the VLAN 2 exists and make sure that VLAN 3 actually exists. So you need to think about the switch now with two different entities. He's a layer 2 switch with layer 2 stuff, and he's a router. So those two, when those two kind of need each other, they need to complement each other. So if you see that VLAN 2 does not come up, the interface VLAN 2, the layer 3 stuff doesn't come up. It stays up down or down or anything of that sort. Make sure that VLAN 2 exists. If the same happens to VLAN 3, make sure that VLAN 3 exists, and so on and so forth. It just needs to show up in a VLAN database, either by being manually created, which is what sane people do, or through VTP. I'm going to make a video about VTP too. That's what crazy people do. Doesn't matter, exists, the interface is up. Interface is nice. Now, we'll go here. Now, let's see if I can ping my gateway. There we go. And now can I ping the other side? Wait a moment, and there we go. Now, can you tell me why the first ping failed and then works and then just continues to work? Can you find a reason for the first ping to fail and then all the rest works? Can you find a reason? If you replied the ARP broadcast being satisfied or doing its stuff, you answered correctly. So sometimes the first pings fail and then all the other pings work because it's the ARP broadcast doing its thing. Sometimes it takes a little bit, a few milliseconds, and then everything is back to normal. Okay, so let's, I can even ping there, but let's ping PC to PC for now. Where is the other one? Oh my God, where is it? It's there. So let's ping 10 to 2 to 1, which is PC1 if not mistaken. There we go. Now we save this. We save the switch because everything is working now. Everything is working great. Now let's just wrap things up with a little bit of tidying up here. All right, because we don't have all the descriptions. So let's show int trunk so we can find which one is the trunk interface. It's 1.0. So conf t interface Ethernet 1/0 description interface to switch 1. Okay. Then we go to 0/0 description interface to PC5. Oops, PC5. And 0/1 interface to PC6. We save. If you are in the exam, do copy running to start up, it's safer. And now we just confirm. Descriptions are there. And everything is really nice and clean. PC5, PC6. So as the network grows, getting these descriptions and being as descriptive as possible is going to help you on the long run. So don't think less of this. It's very important. I will just save to make sure. All right, and everything is okay. So let me show you that nothing happened on the PCs. Let me console to PC2 here. And now we're going to ping PC6 from here. So ping. What was the IP address of PC6? Can I forget? 10.336. 10.336. Everything is fine. So the client PCs, so let's call it like that. The client PCs are just fine and dandy. The gateway IP address, it's the same, so nothing changed on their perspective. A couple of things will fail just because it's the ARP updating its tables, and we should be pretty much good to go. The clients didn't even notice the difference, maybe a little hiccup here and there, but everything is a-okay. Watch this video as many times as you wish. Ask any questions you may have in the comments below. I'm more than happy to participate on the discussion. Like, subscribe, and like, subscribe, and hype. It really helps. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.